Hi friends, this is Chris. Welcome back to the channel. So the question is, are we in a new bull market and what the heck is going on with stocks? Well, I want to start this discussion with who is selling, who is buying, etc. First, it was reported that Jeff Bezos is selling yet more Amazon stock. I think it was in February, he sold like 8.4 billion, something of that nature. And I guess he made another filing again, selling another 5 billion. That was just announced today before going into the holiday. This is July 4th coming up, and the markets are taking a rest, and hopefully you're taking a rest as well. Jensen Huang, the CEO of Nvidia, is selling yet more stock. He had a stock plan, I think he did it in March, something like that. If you're wondering how these things work when you are the CEO and you don't want to be doing insider trading or anything like that, you essentially make these plans ahead of time and say, hey, we're planning to sell stock. Now, it's not crazy. I mean, to be taking some profits, cashing in, not crazy at all, especially when you're at all-time highs is where we are now. And then that's the question, right? Is it going to keep going up from here? The thing I keep seeing is that the data in the the U.S. economy is a little bit weak. Now, why would stocks go up if we have a weak economy? The notion is that the Fed is, in order to spur growth, they'll be cutting rates, and then therefore, if we're cutting rates, we'll be turning on the money, I guess, faucet or money printer, and things will go up from there. That's the bet. And Wall Street is always thinking of a way and a narrative to, convince clients to give them money in order to essentially make money off management fees. The crazy thing about it is that some of these people are very convincing. If you watch the Dan Ives guy, he keeps saying that Tesla stock is going to be worth trillions, they're going to be making AI, robots, all these kind of things. And to me, it's all laughable. But guys, I tell you the truth on this stuff. Tesla stock has been rallying. And this is sort of like one of the, to say it, more entertaining type of stocks to watch in the market. That's what we talk about all the time, because it is so disconnected from reality. You're talking about a company that doesn't really have any new products coming out. They're going to make some sort of announcement August 8th, but whatever they announce, it's going to be years from actually ever seeing the light of day, or may never see the light of day, or even if it does, may never make actually any money. But it doesn't matter because they're going to keep giving you 5-year plans. I just made a prior video about the election, and I just wanted to walk outside because, frankly, when I sit on my computer all day and read the news, it's like, how can you, how can you not be depressed? And I try to be positive about this stuff, but it's just like, oh my God, the news is negative. And what do I mean by negative? It's like the situation about politics. I don't want to get dragged down too deep into it, but the situation that we have right now is like we have a incumbent that is just way too old. We have a challenger that is way too crazy. And now we're talking about like the incumbent just dropping out, and then we don't really have a great process in place to replace said candidate. And so then like, okay, I guess we're going with crazy then. It is that's our world. But that's largely, in the US. It's hard to talk about this stuff because then you deal with a electorate that's equally crazy, and I don't even mean about it, but it's just the truth. And the one thing I was thinking about this, I was just, I mentioned videos before about, one of your biggest financial decisions that you ever make is who you get married to, right? And, a lot of people actually get that choice wrong. I just did a quick search, just curious what the current rates are. Divorce rates came up for the USA between 40 and 50% for your first marriage. All right, get this, there's more. Your second marriage, your divorce rate is 60 to 67%, meaning that, people make wrong decisions, bad decisions all the time, because there's no way you can convince me that, marrying and then getting divorced is a good result, right? Obviously, I think you would want to get married till death do us part and stick with whatever partner that you decide on. I'm not saying you should never get divorced, because if you married the wrong person, yes, you got to get out of that said relationship. The point I'm trying to make, though, is that people make bad decisions, right? And, I try so much on this channel just to, be consistent every day with you guys, right? And I mention that is because I think in this world that why sort of, the exposing scammer videos are so popular is because for many people out there, they feel like, oh, I trusted said person, be it, whoever you're watching on YouTube, or, be it in your relationship, I trusted said person, but it turns out that it was completely, bogus. And I think this relates to, the whole stock market as well, is like, it's so frustrating when I try to help you guys with this stuff, where I feel like there's so much, how can I say, like posers out there that are trying to sell you these phantom products that don't exist, or you want to use the word vaporware. It's just what I said. We talk about Tesla quite a bit, but it's not just Tesla. It's all over the place. There was recently I saw that, was it Cassava Sciences? I think that's the name of it. They were accused of fraud, and they're in trouble over there. It's not just them. I mean, obviously there's a whole bunch of things going on, because basically the way this game is played, right? Let's talk about Wall Street here. It's all about information. And the thing about it is that obviously if you have inside information, you get the information first, etc., you're going to do much better. But moreover, which is kind of crazy, if you control the flow of information and you are able to paint it in narratives that favor you financially, you can also do quite well, even if it's not necessarily the truth. I'll give you an example. So I just mentioned in a prior video, but I got to mention it again. Kathy Wood's been telling everyone all along, oh, Tesla's awesome. We're going to be in this thing for years. We're going to make lots of money, right? But like, if she really believed the stuff that she's saying, that it's going to be the robotaxis are going to worth trillions, like, why is she selling the stock? That was reported today. She's like selling a whole bunch of it. Right? And the bulls, the people who are in the Tesla aren't going to tell you that. And I mentioned Tesla because that is one of the biggest sort of like things of misinformation. The sad thing about it is that it's true, guys. I'm telling you the truth. You can make money off these like crazy clown kind of misinformation, bubble world. You totally can. People make money off dog coins. They really do. The crypto industry, and if I want to make videos on crypto every single day on YouTube, wildly popular, because you can make money on this stuff. But like, when's this bubble gonna pop? It is a bubble. Don't get me wrong. It is entirely a bubble, and this is where even more craziness comes in, because I want to tie this into the elections and why I don't do politics all the time. We got to cover it. If it turns out that we have some wild election where one party sweeps, because you never know. In these kind of things, they're so unpredictable that you honestly don't know what's going to happen. That's why people go to the polls, and that's why you vote, right? Vote whoever you think is going to be the best, for the country, etc. But what could possibly happen is, the money printing, let's say for example, keeps on and going, right? And we find all these excuses that we need to print more, be it the economy slowing, or we want more business activity, or we want to help people afford their homes, so we give them cheaper loans, etc. I give you an example. There's an article today in the Wall Street Journal that was talking about car prices, and in fact, car prices have gone down. I think it was 3% from last year. But the craziest thing, and I'll pose this question to you: what do you think the average price of a car is these days? It was much higher than I thought. I'm not in the market to buy a car in the USA, but I'll say I guess the average price is $45,000, which sounds so crazy to me. When you get older, this happens where, like, you remember when cars were 10,000, but we're a long ways from that. I think these days a cheap car is like 20, and then I guess your average is 45, and then your expensive cars, start maybe in the 60s to 70s, and obviously we have cars well above 100,000. But the fascinating thing about it is, even though car prices have gone down, again, average price is 45, the average consumer doesn't necessarily feel like it's going down. Why? Because interest rates are high. Their payments are still high. I think the average payment, I was looking at the numbers, it's something like $750, something in that range, which again, I think is just absolutely ludicrous. You have these high car payments, you also have, obviously high rents, home prices are still high. And so then from the average person's perspective, they're just like, well, I want relief, so lower interest rates, give me more buying power. And like, what do you think that does to inflation? If people have more buying power, you guys just think about it intuitively. You give people more tools to borrow more money to buy said stuff that may not necessarily need, because these days cars last a long time. I talk about cars a lot, but let's talk about home prices, right? Now we do need a place to live, so I'm not saying you don't get a place to live. You do need a place to live. You got to live somewhere, right? I hope so, at least. The thing about it though is, like, the more buying power you have for people, it's hard for prices to come down, and then you create this crazy world bubble that we're in. I live here in Korea. I always mention that. We've been in a real estate bubble here for quite a long time, but like I said, it's not just Korea. You can talk about the USA, you can talk about other places around the world. You can talk about the UK, for example. They're facing inflation. I think it's been cooling off, but no matter what the numbers say, whenever I ask people in the community what's going on with the UK, they're saying, yep, things are still expensive over here. And people are essentially looking for a savior, looking for change. So for example, in the UK election, I think they vote on Thursday. The Labour Party is probably going to sweep. That's what the polling data is suggesting. And generally speaking, when people feel like things are going in the wrong direction, time to change the party in power or whatever. I'm bringing up this stuff though is because I think people put too much weight into hoping that someone's going to save you. I've noticed this. I don't know. It's been the last month or so. I've been just thinking about on YouTube, seeing comments and reading the articles and the content that's been coming out there, and why you should always be thinking about yourself, investing in yourself, be it literally investing in yourself by opening up accounts and saving money set aside for various purposes, be it your kids' education, be it for your own retirement, be it for sort of medical expenses, right? You should also be like investing in yourself in terms of educating yourself. I can't do all the educating for you alone, right? You need to be active in your own investments. My goal every day is just to encourage you guys to do said things. It's the same way with, like, I told you guys before, I was a professor for about 10 years, and essentially, give students homework, but ultimately it's up to them to whether or not they're going to actually do the work, do the reading, etc., to, better themselves. These kind of things relate to investing because why? Well, sometimes it may not be obvious right away. What the things that you're doing today are going to be beneficial for you, right? It may take years for you to really notice it, and then one day you wake up and you're like, oh my God, things are going pretty good, right? It may not feel like it at first, but this is only after you're taking care of yourself. I think going back to the whole savior thing, I think that's what's the most disturbing thing about what we see with our markets, or with the whole, Elon Musk cultology, if you want to call it that, come with a different word for that, is that people are like, and this, you're reading comments, you're like, oh, Chris, you're so dumb. Lord Elon knows everything and he's going to save me. That's what it boils down to. And it feels like the same with politics as well. It's like, oh, Chris, you're so dumb. My favorite politician is going to save me. So he's going to save me from everything, right? And this is why, when I talk about these kind of videos, is be careful out there of anyone who's promising you, to save you. It relates to politics, it relates to religion, it relates to, people's marriage, etc. Like that. Be careful. And the average person is not a good judge of character. That's why I mentioned the divorce rate thing, right? Half the people get that most crucial decision in their lives wrong. Think how crazy that is. I can't, give you the secret formula for like choosing the proper, partner for you, other than, well, what is the secret formula? As I said, I can't give you the secret formula. Other than, don't force it, don't hurry, do your research, take your time, make sure it's the right decision for you. I think a lot of people get peer pressured into these things, like you have to marry now, etc., or same with investments, or you have to buy said hot stock, etc. But ultimately, if you're always a follower all of the time and get stuck in the crowd, right, you'll do what everyone else is doing, and usually what everyone else is doing is actually wrong. So I hope you guys understand sort of why we have these talks. I know it's complicated stuff that we're talking about, and for many people you won't understand a word that I'm saying, and that's fine. I get that. The same way I got some garden work here I'll show you guys. So there's someone just cutting down trees right behind me there. But I get that. But I like to have these discussions with you because I want you to understand that I get the problems that people have. I get that. I get that you want to watch YouTube and you want to find the latest hottest things so you can be rich tomorrow. What I tell you guys, try to consistently tell you, is you have to have a multi-pronged approach. Because if you're just relying on the markets that may or may not be in a bubble, my opinion is a bubble, but the bubble keeps lasting and it keeps going up like nuts, you may get burned eventually. And so I try my best to tell you like the news of what's going on. Jeff Bezos is selling, Jensen Huang is selling, Kathy Wood is selling, and I'm sure they're well aware behind closed doors of what is happening. Don't rely on anyone except for yourself. You're the one who ultimately has to foot the bill for yourself. Take care of yourself, please, and do the best you can to improve yourself every day. So Hope you guys understand the point of these kind of videos. I always appreciate spending time with you, and I'll catch you all next time.